This month, a panel discussion with residents, teens, and authorities will address issues that have divided citizens on important issues in the St. Louis region. It's all part of a summit hosted by the 100 Black Men of St. Louis. With me now is Jock Land, who is Executive Director of the organization. Jock, welcome to the show.
Hello, Tim. How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Pretty good. You know, it's very interesting that, I've known you for a number of years, and you and I have never sat down and had a one-on-one interview, although those people out there know that Jock is very active in the community and has been a part of this community for quite a while. What kind of brainstorming went into putting this summit together?
A lot of brainstorming, Tim, and it's not just the 100 Black Men. We've got several partners involved with this. So the Urban League Young Professionals, Mound City Bar, the attorneys over there, the ACLU, and also an organization called Teach, all sat down and we're putting our heads together collaboratively so that we can address those issues and those concerns that has stemmed from the unrest in Ferguson. Specifically looking at the concerns centered around the engagement or the disconnect between law enforcement and the community. And in addition to that, also focusing on not just voter registration, but voter education to make sure that citizens are empowered when they go to the polls to vote, in addition to being registered. And then we're also looking at the elements of knowing your rights as a citizen, so that if you are encountered or you do encounter law enforcement, you understand your rights, you understand the proper method and procedure of how you should proceed when you come in face to face in that situation.
So this has been in the planning stages since the Ferguson situation?
Actually, probably about 3 to 4 weeks. We've all come together and collaboratively looked at ways that we can formulate a summit to address these concerns. All of the organizations involved have been out in the community doing things independent of themselves, but we felt like it was important to, leverage the resources, leverage the perspectives, the insight, so that we can collectively do this summit to open up the discussions and look at making sure that we're able to bridge the gap to address the concerns, address the issues, go through a process of reconciliation and healing, allowing folks the opportunity to express their emotions and their concerns, and make sure that law enforcement and the chiefs of several municipalities are present so that they can hear this information and then we can move forward.
A lot of people have been having discussions, and most people just call it a panel discussion. You guys have put the name Summit in.
Right.
Tell me how that's different from some of the other things that have been going on in terms of talking about this.
So, Tim, Summit, basically the first portion or that morning segment with bridging the gap between law enforcement and the community, that piece is a discussion because there does need to be a platform for youth especially to express their concerns and all of the interactive challenges and disparities that have gone on, whether it's, dealing with, from their perspective, brutality, harassment, racial profiling, whatever the concerns are, and then also for law enforcement to express their concerns and to listen and receive that feedback. So there's a responsibility on both ends, but from that form of discussion to narrow down those concerns, to address them, to the second part of the day, dealing with actual on-site education and empowering individuals on their rights as a citizen, empowering them on voter education, and allowing the opportunity for addressing recruitment in law enforcement during the second part of the day. It becomes more engaging.
Now, you and I just talked about this. This boils down to a simple discussion about some of the issues that are affecting our community, and there are a number of them. But how do you implement the things that are going to be discussed? How do you take it from just a discussion to actually doing something to uplift and strengthen the community, as you put it?
Absolutely. So the first thing is identifying the concerns and the issues. There's been many platforms over the past several weeks to do that. The first part of this will be one. From that, we will identify and narrow down the scope of those concerns and collectively work with the Department of Justice, who, as you know, is already going to be instituting a federal investigation collaboration with both Ferguson and St. Louis County and open it up to surrounding municipalities to engage. The findings that we get from that, and Department of Justice will be present there as well. The findings that we get, we're going to share that with them, and then we're also, as a group, going to evaluate to look at how we, in our lanes, our respective lanes, can step up and engage in the capacity of addressing these concerns. For example, I can speak from the 100 Black Men perspective. So when we look at our mentoring programs from a perspective of life skills, training and development, then those are the things that we will bring to the table to address the youth in not just in Ferguson, but throughout the region.
Okay, well, hold that. The 100 Black Men has a mentoring division, as Jacques has said, and I know that's great, isn't it? The head of that division will join us on the other side of the break, so stay with us.